How about this morning? Real relationships. Real relationships. How many of you have real, authentic relationships? Well, that's what we're talking about this morning. Good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna, and you already know, got a word for you on this morning. You already know that. And it's talking about what I'm talking about this morning is real relationships. Real relationships. Gonna give you the text to talk to take away, 5 minutes or less. Then you need to share the man. That's what I'm gonna do. You need to put the revelation that you get in the chat area so others can get the cumulative effect of the revelation that everybody gets, and then we can then have the manna to spread around and make our day. How about that? How about that? I'm gonna greet some folk this morning. Then we're gonna get right into the word on this morning. Got to put my specs on so I can see. Good morning, Verena. How are you? Good morning, Brenda. How are you? Carolyn, how are you? Diane, how are you? Celestine, how are you? Anna, how are you? Angela, how are you? Francine, how are you? Ella, how are you? Vicky, how are you on this morning? Ashton, how you doing, buddy? Monaco, how are you? How are you? Got some good news for you guys. Got some good news. I'm gonna reach out to you and Tony right after morning manna. Right after morning manna. Good morning, Erica. How are you on this morning? How are you guys on this morning? Let's shout out. A little birdie told me that one of the Manna fams got a new job and God stepped in on time. I want y'all to shout out Angela this morning. Shout out Angela. Congratulations how God moved and being a part of the Manna fam, and we hope that she can keep this whole flow of the manna with us. But you know what? You got to eat. How about that? You got to eat. Good morning, Kimberly. How are you? Ari, how are you? Elder Jan, how are you? Bud Nesbitt, how you doing, buddy? How's everything going along with you on this morning? Y'all shout out Angela on this morning. Man, we're really blessed and thankful that we prayed her through and always connected, and the faithfulness of God. How about that? The faithfulness of God. That's a wonderful thing. You know what? On last night, I ministered the word, and I told you, I hope you were with me. I hope you were with me. Didn't leave me out there dangling now. Didn't leave me out there dangling. And I minister this word, and I want to continue the whole piece that the Lord gave me. I want to piggyback on that. I want to piggyback on that word that I gave last night on eChurch. Here we go. Real relationships. Real relationships. The text is Luke 1:43. Luke 1:43. And I want you to grab a hold of the fact that this is what is going on in the text. What's going on in the text is Mary has gone and journeyed in the hitherlands, in the wilderness, if you will, the hill country, the text says, to go see her cousin Elizabeth. Now, this is not a happenstance. There's something going on here. Mary is in search of real relationships. She's in search of real relationships. So I want to raise the question before we say anything. Why then is Mary going to Elizabeth when she gets pregnant and not her mother or her grandmother? She's looking for real relationships. 4 things I want you to get a hold of. And the first thing is there has to be connections in real relationships. There has to be a connection. And I submit to you that evidently Mary does not have the connection that she needs to bring out what's inside of her from her mother. She cannot have it. There's nowhere in the text. Luke, the physician, does not say anything about Mary's mother. So clearly, there's no connection there. Second thing is, there's nothing in common there. Though Mary is a temple young lady, and the temple girls were girls that were given over to the temple for mentoring and raising when they were young. And clearly, when her parents gave her over to the temple, We don't see anything else about our parents. We don't know anything about our parents. Nothing happens after then that we are aware of. So Mary needs real relationships. So she looks for connection. She looks for something in common. What does she have in common with Elizabeth, who says, "What is it that you would come to me?" Both of them have miraculous impregnations. Both of them have conceived miraculously. Remember, Elizabeth, who she goes to see, has been barren. And she's been barren all her life, and she's old. And her husband is old. But yet she's pregnant. And here is Mary saying, "You know what? I've conceived by the Holy Spirit." They have that in common. The third thing is this: collaboration. Collaboration. When she comes in, Elizabeth talks her, we have to come together, because the collaboration comes from the connection. When she walks in the room and she speaks, John the Baptist, Jesus' cousin, leaps inside of her. She already knows that they have a collaboration. What is the collaboration? John the Baptist goes before Jesus and tells them there's someone greater coming after me. The mothers collaborate before this ever takes place. This is real relationship. Here's the fourth and final thing. Maybe not. It's the fourth thing before the fifth thing, because I got a fifth thing. Got five things this morning. Here it is. There's a commitment. Elizabeth shows a level of commitment to Mary. She said, "What is it that I can do now that you are here? How are we going to work?" And then she sings this song to Mary. They call this Mary's song of praise, the Magnificent. Now, the Roman Catholics do something else with it, but it just shows that there is a commitment. Here is the fifth and final thing. A real relationship is concrete. A real relationship is concrete. What do you mean by that? It will endure the test of time. You got a real relationship when things are crumbling all around you, but the relationships remain concrete. That somebody sticks to you closer than a brother. What's your takeaway this morning after these five things that I shared with you with respect to real relationships? Is this: real relationships can bring out what's on the inside of you. You can argue that had it not been for Elizabeth, then Mary would not have had the confidence that she got to go on a donkey to Bethlehem, because she went by herself all the way to see her cousin. That tells me that therein lies what real relationships can do. Brings out what's on the inside of you. The Lord be with you today. His face shine upon you. Give you peace. Share the manna. If it bless you, bless somebody else. And let's connect with some real relationships. I'll see you tomorrow morning with more Morning Manna.